Well, Miami Dolphin fans, it's time to celebrate. If you don't know, Chris Grier, the executive of the Miami Dolphins, who has run the organization for 9 years, has been removed from his position. He's no longer the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. It is a mutual parting of the ways, which basically means he gets to walk away with all his money. And now the Dolphins have handed the organization in the hands of Champ Kelly, who was hired this offseason after leaving the Las Vegas Raiders. Joining me is Isaiah Smalls of the Miami Herald columnist Omar Kelly here. Isaiah, what is your reaction to Steve Ross making a firing after the Dolphins' 28-6 loss to the Baltimore Ravens? The third time this organization has been embarrassed this season, and the second time it's been on national television.
I think it speaks to Ross's dissatisfaction with the roster construction. I think we've both had several conversations about how this roster is poorly constructed, whether you want to talk about the lack of help on the offensive line, you want to talk about defensively, like the corner situation was a little bit in flux. Obviously, they played well, but then again, like these guys weren't they played okay. Rasul Douglas played well. Rasul Douglas played well.
Okay. Played well. Let's calm
Jack
down
Jones,
on well.
Jack Jones has been up and down. But the safeties have been meh. So I think it really just speaks to dissatisfaction with the roster construction. But at the same time, you also got to look back to what Ross said at the end of last year, right? The status quo simply will not do, right? And they are 2 games away from essentially being 2 losses away, from being essentially at the status quo.
No. This is status quo because.
Well, I'm talking about from a roster perspective. From a record perspective. This is far below.
I think this is about status quo. I mean, do you expect the Dolphins to win all 9 games
that they play? No, of course not. But I'm just saying, quite literally, the definition of status quo is the same, right? And I'm saying that they're 2 games away from being being able to 2 losses from being the exact same. 2 losses away from being the exact same,
if not worse.
Yes. So I'm just from based on what he said alone, like this move was kind of long overdue. The team hasn't played well at all. I think the question now becomes what else is next? Like what's next, right? Obviously there's going to be a GM search, right? We've already compiled a few names. I've actually Ray Agnew for me, and I'd be curious to know what your criteria for a GM is, right? But for me, I'm gonna say a couple things, right? I want it to come from an organization that's had some success recently, right? I want you to be integral to that team's success, right? Either whether you were, made great decisions in free agency, whether you retained core players of your team and might have done a little bit of scouting before. That's definitely a big one for me. I definitely want to see that you've evaluated talent before. I'm not big on analytics. Like you can use that, but I know that I prefer somebody that can see a player and be like, that's the guy, I want him, and be convicted in that. Yes, I know that's a talent. Yes, and I'd rather have that talent than the guy that's super analytics driven, right? So as I said, Ray Agnew with the Lions, Mike Greenberg with the Bucks, John Eric Sullivan with the Packers, Nick Mateo with the Ravens. Those are just a few guys just based off of a short list that I kind of just quickly compiled after, the mutual parting of ways, which I think is a fancy way to say firing. But, it is what it is. Here we are. Dolphins fans, you've gotten your wish. I'm curious to see how you think of it, Omar.
One, I think this is a move done to satisfy fans right now. Obviously, you're embarrassed on national television. Everybody knows what time it was. They were all getting fired at the end of the year. Don't act. Even if Chris Grier wasn't getting fired, he was going to be moved somewhere else. He wasn't going to be picking the groceries anymore for the Miami Dolphins. It's just a matter of why you do it now. Well, you do it now because it's season ticket renewal time. And right now, the Dolphins have to offer you $250 in merchandise and food in order to even make it palatable for you. And no price increases in order to make it even palatable for you to renew your season tickets. If the paying customers are absolutely totally sold off the product, then you have a problem. And right now, the paying customers were turned off. I said this in my last episode, and I do mean it. I use my friends as ultimate gauges of teams and things that I write about. And I have a friend, John Nelson, who is a dentist at Midtown Dental, excellent dental office.
Second plug in the same day.
No, but here's the thing.
Wow.
The point is, I have never seen him ever not watch a Dolphins game. He could be traveling. He's watching a Dolphins game. He finds some way to watch a Dolphins game. And he knows the team ain't crap. He's known the team ain't crap for a long time, but he never checked out. He had never checked out. He texts me in the middle of yesterday's game. He's like, he texts our group chat. He's like, I've watched 2 Dolphin plays. I'm out. I can't do it. I can't watch this team anymore. I'll check back on you in 2026. I'm done. And here's the thing. I understand exactly where he is because I have done the exact same thing with the Hurricanes. It was in the Al Golden era. I saw the incompetence that was just there. And I saw all the foolery. I saw the team just folding mentally at the worst opportune time. They'll probably do it again against SMU on Saturday. I don't have confidence because I know who these Hurricanes are.
You heard it here first. Omar's picking SMU over UM.
I don't have faith. You know what I'm saying? I've lost faith. I don't. If I'm in position to watch the Hurricanes, I'm watching the Hurricanes. But I'm not scheduling my whole Saturday around them. You know what I'm saying? And Dolphin fans are there. They don't care anymore. I have friends who own season tickets. They live in Naples. Have had them for years. They're not making the drive because it's not worth their time. That's hundreds of dollars they're wasting because the Dolphins made them not care anymore. And I've always warned you folks, the readers, the fans. Steve Ross doesn't fear many things, but he does fear apathy. Apathy is an owner's worst enemy because when the fan base checks out on you, it's hard to get them back. And I think that's why Chris Grier had to be let go now. I definitely know he ain't done. And my column in the Miami Herald, which will be in tomorrow's paper, is up online right now, is
Sunday's paper.
Sunday's paper. This better just be the beginning. You need to Control Alt Delete this whole thing. You need to press the home and start button and hold it for 20 seconds. Cleanse it all. Cleanse it all. Because this organization, this franchise, and I've covered them for 18 years, they have cancer. There is a mediocrity and incompetence, a buffoonery that is just emanates everything in the football side of the organization. No matter who's the head coach, no matter who's the owner, no matter who is in charge of the organization, it's cancerous. And I don't know what's going to cleanse it. We could just expect dysfunction. We joke with you all the time when you got here. Like, this is the Dolphins. It's going to be dysfunctional. That's just how things roll around here. The star player is going to get arrested on his way to the game. That's how things happen here. There's going to be
a first Dolphins game.
Snorting white powdery substance on camera to an escort. Like, it's the Dolphins. Like these are things you can expect from the Dolphins. And I don't understand why you don't have to expect it from the business side of the organization, but it's never leaving the football side. And we are where we are.
No, I feel you, man. I think, look, this has been a very interesting second season to begin with, at least. I'm just grateful that no one got arrested on their first on the way to the game.
Hey, they got a 4-day weekend, brother. Don't do
Don't do that, because the last time someone said that, Ryan Crow.
I did say that to you. Yes, I did.
No, it was Barry that said it last time. It was Barry that said it last time. Now you're saying it this time. I just want to have a few days. Again, I was literally napped. I was on my way to nap earlier after the first podcast.
And then
And I'm like sitting down, I'm looking at my phone just as my eyes are about to close, and I see Dolphins. Anytime I see Adam Schefter and Dolphins, my heart skips a beat. And this is where we are. I mean, look, I think to your point, like fans got what they wanted. And that's
no, they're not done.
I know, but look, like it's a tip. You should see. I know your mentions are going crazy right now. So are mine because Dolphins fans. Oh, I saw one. There is one crazy one. I'm gonna send you. That is hilarious. But I will say this: like at the end of the day, first I think we should say this, right? Like there's a very human side that I think often gets lost with the talking heads and the media and all that stuff. And one thing I will say is, hopefully Chris Grier is somewhere doing well. Hopefully he's mentally okay, because I think at the same time, like, whether it's a parting of the ways, you resign, whatever, fired, it sucks the same, right? Like you lost your job.
Unless you got your whole salary and,
Yeah, but you still lost your job. Like I don't have to tell you, as men, we put a lot of stock into what we do for a living as providers, right? So I know that there's some part of him that is a little bit like, damn, what am I going to do now, right? Obviously, I'm sure you'll get another job, all that stuff. So from that standpoint, I just want to express a little bit of empathy towards him and towards the situation. That aside, fans, I know y'all are, excited, whatever. It'll be interesting to see what comes next. I think the more interesting scenario will be how Champ Kelly handles the trade scenario, the trade deadline, which is upcoming, right? I had read that because Grier was in power, Waddle, Judon, JP, Chubb, and I believe Russell Douglas were all off the table, right? When Grier was, yes, that was what Pelissero reported, that all those guys were off the table because Grier was in power. So now with that shifting, with Champ Kelly now being the guy,
that's bull crap. That's put out by the team to let people know these guys can be had right now. We are having a fire sale. They were always having a fire sale. Like, do not believe what you hear.
Okay.
I think the Atlanta win is the only thing that stopped the fire sale. But we right back selling every piece by piece.
Back. Okay.
Right back. If you want Jalen Waddle, you can have him if you offer a first round pick. You want him?
So I literally was on the phone with my friend just before. We hopped on here, and he was talking about that price tag for Jalen Waddle. Do you think, because apparently the Patriots offered like a second for AJ Brown?
You're not getting AJ Brown for a second.
I hear you. But if that's the going rate for AJ Brown, which I'm not saying no one was going to do that.
That's a problematic wide receiver, which is being paid top dollar. So you got a discount for
problematic.
Oh, you don't think he's you're an Eagles fan. You don't think he's problematic right now in that locker room?
I don't think he's problematic. I think he just wants to, in his words, contribute to winning.
You have clearly never had experiences with diva receivers.
I've not. No, I've not.
Yeah, yeah.
You speak diva receiver.
I speak diva receiver. Trust me. When you heard talk about a private meeting in a car with a quarterback, and then he's like, that meeting never happened. You telling me that meeting never happened? Really? They were begging you to like stop being a problem. And you're basically like, nah. Diva receivers, they don't care about winning. They want their numbers. They want their money. They want their productivity. They want the nation to know they're the man. They want attention.
Okay.
Tyreek.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Jalen Waddle is the opposite of that.
He's not exactly
most humble guy in that locker.
Exactly. And the Dolphins have already paid the freight of the money that he's owed. He's only got one more year of guaranteed money on his contract. So you're gonna need to cough up a first. I'm here giving you a 1,000-yard receiver who's not a diva. Like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But in fairness, only elite teams who are on the verge of winning championships probably are interested. Detroit don't need him. Baltimore don't need him. Who,
You tell me Baltimore couldn't stand to have Jalen Waddle?
They got Zay Flowers. They can't even get the ball. They got DeAndre Hopkins,
DeAndre Hopkins is old. Come on, you said that last year.
Bro,
you said that
he's a Hall of Fame receiver.
He's a Hall of Fame receiver. You're right, but he's old now. Like that's. I hear you. He is, but that's off of past work. That's not off of what he's doing.
I bet you he looked good catching the jump ball. Bet you he looked good catching the jump ball.
He probably could have caught that pass that was thrown to HN.
I'm just letting you know. Like
I hear you.
I mean, you can't.
But he's up. I'm just saying that Waddle is 110% upgrade over what is it? Bateman, Rashad Bateman, 110%.
Oh, I didn't even think about him.
That's what I'm saying. He's 110% upgrade over him. So, but then again, your smart receiver room. I hear you.
I mean, to me, and I've said this before, I've written this before, and I don't hide it. The only player that's not on the market is Patrick Paul. Like, you want Chop Robinson, come get him. You want Devon Achane?
What's the asking price? I feel like you gotta hold on to your first round pick from last year.
No. Because listen, whoever's gonna come in here, you don't know if they're gonna run a 3-4, a 4-3. You don't know. You don't know if they run a wide 9. In my opinion, Chop Robinson won't be good unless he's in a wide 9 defense. And if I don't want to run a wide 9, Chop Robinson has no value to me. Like, you better get something for him while you can still get value. Not to say that Chop's a bust or whatever. I'm good. Like, you see it. You know he can't set the edge. Like,
I think he's gotten a lot better at it. I think he has.
Okay.
I mean, granted, his snaps are so minimized right now because of he's got JP and Chubb ahead of him. But I'd be interested to see what it looks like with if one of them leaves. Now you might be totally look. The great part about this podcast is I feel like we prove each other wrong a little bit more now than we used to ever have, right? And so I'd be love to be proved wrong. Well, I would not love to be being proved wrong in this instance, but I will say that I'd be interested to see what an increased workload would look like for Chop Robinson. Because I have seen semblances of him setting the edge, but I've also seen the opposite of him.
And that's exactly why you should be moving Jalen Phillips and moving Bradley Chubb at this point before Tuesday's 4 p.m. deadline. Like, more than likely, hear me out on this. Jalen Phillips is probably the one who's going to get you the best value. I wouldn't trade him for anything less than a 4th round pick. Mm-hmm. If somebody who's going to acquire him, I don't think they're going to give him a multi-year contract, even though that's what he could push for, just like Bradley Chubb did when he got traded here to Miami. So somebody's going to rent him. You can, if he wants to come back here, he can come back here. You're just leasing him to somebody. Like, you might as well go get the pick because you're probably not going to re-sign Jalen Phillips because you're in a rebuild. He's going to want real money. He's shown you that there's potential there and talent there. Somebody's just got to uncork that talent. Yeah. Bradley Chubb, like, you're going to cut him. Why not go get a draft pick for him? The reality of it is you're not paying him $20 million next year. Like, you prefer the cap space. So, not to say that whoever is going to be the GM or the top executive on this team is going to make wise draft choices, because even if you trade away these players for draft picks and Chris Grier was here, you're probably going to still waste a draft pick anyway. But what lie did I tell? What lie did I just tell?
No, you're good.
What? I didn't tell you.
You didn't tell me a lie. You're right. You're completely correct.
But having more picks and also having an open spot for a young Chop Robinson to get these reps and experience, like a Dante Trader or Kenneth Grant or all of these young players that are playing and cutting their teeth and making their mistakes, that would be beneficial for you as an organization. So that's where
maybe we see Quinn Ewers soon too.
No.
They've already punted on that experiment.
I think you don't get there until December. And that's when you're just trying to realistically tank organically or non-organically. It's I don't even think Quinn Ewers is getting reps in practice. So
No, he's not. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how are you even evaluating him to see if he's ready, developing, growing, and truthfully speaking, and I know the people who are not very intelligent football fans, Tua is not the answer, but he's also not the problem. And there was a whole lot of stuff going on in that game that was the problem, and you got to fix all of that before you could even start having a conversation about Tua. Like, receivers got to run the right routes. Your best protection is 6 offensive linemen. Why is that? Because you have a crap for an offensive line. Like, let's fix what's fixable before we sit here and say, okay, this guy is trash. Like, Tua's not trash. He's just not the answer because he can't put a cape on and be Superman.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Now the question is, who's next? Where does that come from? Everybody in the world knows there's no secret. I'm a huge Louis Riddick fan because of his ability to evaluate talent. Does he have the connections that he needs to put together a good head coach and put together staff? I have no idea. A lot of people get hired and we have no idea how good they are. But the one thing I know about Louis Riddick is he can evaluate talent and he can find quarterbacks. He can identify quarterbacks. You look at the last 10 years of the draft, Louis Riddick has told you who the Patrick Mahomes were going to be. He advocated for Lamar Jackson. He advocated for Jalen Daniels. He knows quarterbacks. He was talking about the CJ, the one in Houston.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, when everybody was talking about Fields. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this and what, how.
Wait, what? Wait, they were different draft classes.
Were they different draft classes?
Yeah, because they both went to Ohio State. Fields was first, CJ Stroud was second. So who?
Fields has been in the league longer than Stroud. Okay. No, it was Stroud and somebody else.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the number 1 overall pick that year.
It doesn't. The one in Chicago.
No, that was Jaden Daniels. Oh, it was Bryce Young. Was it Bryce Young?
Yeah.
No, was it Bryce Young? It was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I think it was Bryce Young. Anyway, but I would also like to take the opportunity of proposing my idea, which I'll eventually put in writing, which is the Miami Dolphins should. There was a time that Wayne Huizenga put Dan Marino in charge of the franchise and said, "Here,
you said this.
Fix it, fix it." And Marino didn't want the job. He took the job and then realized how much work it entailed to do the job, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't want the job." Okay, that was Dan Marino, but the thought process was right. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins and I'm Steve Ross and I'm Tom Garfinkel, I'd have been knocking on Zach Thomas's door at 9 a.m. this morning and sitting down with Zach and saying, "Zach, I know you don't want to be involved in football. I know you want to be about your family and raising your kids, but you love the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Dolphins need you right now." And he would be my vice president of football operations. And I would treat him just like San Francisco treats the safety. Who's San Francisco's GM? Safety for Tampa Bay. I can't remember his name now. And
it's not John Lynch?
Yeah, John Lynch. And just let him make my decisions. Let him pick the GM. Let him pick the head coach. Let him pick the draft talent and ride that out from there. That's what I would do. Now, I'm an out-the-box thinker, but that's that. I don't trust anybody else other than Zach Thomas and maybe Jason Taylor. And Jason Taylor is coaching right now, but I'd offer him the same position as well. I think the players who care, who love this organization, who love this franchise, they can grow into the position. Hell, I said last year I give it to Calais Campbell. Like, no question. Calais knows 18 years in the NFL. You don't think he knows more about football
19
than 70% of the people running NFL front offices.
No, I agree.
He knew more than his coaches.
I just would be the only reason I push back against the Zach Thomas thing is I don't know if I want to give it to a guy who doesn't want it. That's my only thing.
That's the best person, because if he takes it, that's the best person, because if he takes it, he's taking it out of duty and responsibility.
Yes, but then there's always going to be that voice in the back of his head, like,
I don't want him here forever unless he absolutely loves the job. I just want him to fix what's going on here and lay a foundation. The problem is I don't see a Bill Parcells out there waiting for.
I agree. That was my thing too. Like, if you get rid of McDaniel, right? Like, who's the guy? You have to like have some sort of semblance of the guy. And I'll even talk about the Patriots, right? And what they did last year, right? Getting rid of Jared Mayo. They knew that Jared Mayo, there's no way that you're going to tell me that they didn't believe Jared Mayo was going to be a one-year Ranger. They were waiting for.
They didn't believe that he was there under the wings. The owner had promised him the head coaching position, that he'd be Parcells' successor. Keep in mind that the GM was also hired at a different point period. Wolf and their staff, and what they learned when Jared Mayo did take over, that it was too much. He was in over his head. He was not able to hire a good quality staff. And that's what happens a lot of times. Brian Flores wasn't able to hire good quality staff in his first year. They had to help him out with Chan Gailey. That wasn't even Brian Flores' connection. That was, I believe, Chris Grier's connection. And Gailey got off the first thing smoking out of here when he could. There's a lot of things that come with being a head coach and comes with running an organization. And unfortunately, you don't learn these things until it's too late. And at this point, we can't afford to make those kind of mistakes anymore as an organization. So now, I'm not saying that hiring a Zach Thomas or Jason Taylor is going to fix the problem. But the problem is I don't have anybody I trust to handle the organization. I'm a huge Bruce Arians fan. And Bruce Arians is probably the only person that I can think of to put in a Bill Parcells vice president role and have him build my infrastructure. But the problem is there's bad infrastructure here. There's a horrible infrastructure here. And until that changes, we're going to keep doing the same thing.
No, that's fair. There needs to be a level of like a cultural foundation that is set here, where there's a standard, right? Weaver talked about it when in reference to Ozzie Newsome. Like, there's a standard there, and I don't think that this organization has that. And so they get that. What did you call it? The mediocrity merry-go-round?
Yes.
That's where we are.
Just keep going around and round and round and round. Can't get off the ride.
Round and around they go.
Yeah. On that note, we will be back Monday. I know we said that earlier, but Mike McDaniel's safe. I don't think anybody else is getting fired at this present moment. Champ Bailey's in charge. We might be back if they trade some players this weekend, but Champ Kelly, yes. Oh, how could I forget Kelly?
Yeah, right.
What I call him, Champ Bailey?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I had to resist the urge to say that in copy. So yeah, I feel you.
Champ Bailey's in charge. I have absolutely no
idea.
Champ Kelly's in charge. I have absolutely no idea anything about him. I don't really understand why he's been put in charge, other than maybe he's been the inside guy. I do know, and I have been paying attention, I have never seen him around Chris Grier. It's always he's an outsider to Chris Grier. So maybe Chris Grier felt like he was a mole, and maybe he is. On that note, we will.
We can't end on you alleging he could be a snitch. That's crazy. That's crazy. Don't do that. Let's not do that.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I've never seen him and Chris Grier in the same place.
That's true. That is true. Wait, what is that?
You ever seen them in the same place? You ever seen them talk to each other?
No, I just thought of like 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 in cartoons where it's like, yeah, I've never seen these two, like in Scooby Doo, it's like, yeah, I've never seen these two guys in the same place before, and then it turns out that guy is that guy. That's not what we're saying here, but that's
all I'm saying
I need
is
some sleep. I need sleep.
I have been paying attention, and
Yes.
I've never seen Champ Kelly and Chris Grier in the same place. I've never seen them talk. I've never seen them interact.
Mhm.
And now Champ Kelly's in charge, and not Marvin Allen, which I have seen Champ Kelly and Marvin Allen interact and talk. So, woo, it's fun times in Dolphins dysfunction.
Fun times in Dolphins land, man.
Yeah. We've got 9 more games to go. So, or 7, how many? 8? What? We're 9.
I don't know. We're 8 more. We're
8
2
more
and 7.
Yeah, 8 more games to go. Fun times ahead. On that note, Dolphins in depth. We will be back Monday. Peace out.